Last time on Say Less I Love You.
Marcus Swan never did anything without a reason.
This is ridiculous. You're a nurse, for God's sake.
I have nothing left to lose. You've all made sure of that.
This isn't you, Nyla. What happened to the compassionate nurse who fought so hard for her patients?
She learned.
If she takes us to court, she will win.
We could make her grandfather's treatment difficult.
What exactly do you want, Nyla?
Everything.
Nyla Thomas thought she was getting a simple fake marriage.
Marry me and I'll pay for your grandfather's treatment.
It's just business, right?
Right.
But little did she know the viper's nest she was coming into.
You may try to better yourself, Nyla, but you will never catch up to your betters.
I make the rules, Nyla. You follow them.
They beat her down, took her dignity. What they never expected was
that she would fight back.
Find out what happens when you push a woman too far.
Chapter 1, 114. Jacob. As I head back up to my office, I can't get Kevin's smug face out of my mind. His words echo in my head. She'll be fine, man. Stop trying to play the protective ex-fiancé. The way he said it, like he knows what's best for her. Like he understands her better than I do. That Shaw guy's a real piece of work, Derek says, clapping me on the back. His presence pulls me from my brooding. But we've got bigger fish to fry. I nod, running a hand through my hair. Yeah, you're right. Let's dive into this formulation. We spread the documents across my desk, the intellectual property papers Marcus left behind. The full details of Neuromax's revolutionary formula lie within these pages, waiting to be decoded. Coffee? Derek asks, already heading for the machine. Something tells me we're pulling an all-nighter. Make it strong, I reply, squinting at a particularly complex chemical sequence. And grab the good stuff from my private stash. We're gonna need it. I get lost in magic of the science in front of me. A seemingly random assortment of numbers and letters that will result in a miracle drug that will help thousands of people. That is, if it actually works this time. Derek returns with 2 steaming mugs. He glances over my shoulder at the documents I've been spending the last 15 minutes staring at. Jesus, look at these molecular structures. Marcus was a genius. Or insane, I mutter, flipping through another page. Maybe both. Takes one to know one, Derek quips, earning a half-hearted glare from me. All right, let's get these to the lab, I say, reminding Derek who is in charge. I pull up the documents on my computer as I lean back in my chair, scanning the formulation one last time before hitting send. The email whooshes off to our labs, carrying with it the future of Stone Hospital Group. Done, I announce. Now we wait. Derek refreshes his email obsessively. How long do you think before we hear back? From the labs, could be hours. I check my watch. It's already past midnight. A few minutes later, my phone buzzes. Dr. Chen, our lead researcher. Stone here. Mr. Stone, we've received the formulation, she says, her voice crackling with excitement. Initial analysis looks promising. The molecular structure it's elegant, beautiful even. Keep me posted, I say. I want updates every hour, even if it's just to say nothing's changed. After hanging up, I turn to Derek. Think Marcus knew what he was doing? Leaving this to Nyla? Derek shrugs, gathering the papers into a neat stack. Maybe he saw something in her we didn't. Or maybe he just wanted to stick it to us one last time. Either way, I say, standing to stretch my cramping muscles. Let's make it count. We should look into establishing a dedicated R&D facility for Neuromax, I say, tossing another empty coffee cup into the overflowing trash bin. Maybe Brooklyn? The real estate's still reasonable there. Derek looks up from his laptop, an amused expression crossing his face. Already on it, boss. The site selection team's been scouting locations for weeks. I blink, my sleep-deprived brain struggling to catch up. Wait, what? When did we... 3 weeks ago. That lunch at Le Bernardin? Derek closes his laptop. You were pretty focused on your Dover soul, but you did approve the expansion plans. Damn it. I rub my temples. Sorry, things have been... a disaster, Derek offers helpfully. That's one way to put it. I lean back in my chair, the leather creaking. So tell me about these locations. Derek pulls up a map on his tablet. We've got 3 promising spots. Old warehouse district, plenty of space, good transport links. The team's been doing their due diligence, zoning permits, environmental assessments, the works. And you've been handling all this while you've been juggling Nyla, the board, and whatever else has you looking like you haven't slept in days. Derek grins. Yeah, that's literally my job. You pay me obscenely well to keep things running when you're putting out fires. I let out a long breath. Thanks, Derek, I mean it. Don't get soft on me now, Stone. Save that for your ex-fiancé turned business rival. Just for that, you're buying lunch, I say, throwing a crumpled paper at his head. Fine, but I'm going to go get some sleep first, Derek says as he gathers his things and waves goodnight. I'm well past exhaustion, but I know without a doubt there is no way I'll get to sleep anytime soon. I have too much on my mind. I slip into the dimly lit hospital room, the steady beep of monitors providing a quiet rhythm. Cornelius lies there, peacefully despite all the setbacks we've had with his care. Hey there, Mr. Rex, I say softly, settling into the chair beside his bed. I know you're sleeping, but I wanted to check on you myself. I study the monitors, noting his vital signs. The latest Neuromax treatment seems to be holding steady. Not a miracle yet, but not a failure either. Progress, however small, is still progress. Your granddaughter's quite something, I continue, adjusting his blanket. She's got more fight in her than anyone I've ever met. Must run in the family. A nurse pokes her head in, clipboard in hand. Oh, Mr. Stone, I didn't expect to see you here. Just checking on our patient, I reply, standing. How's he doing? She consults her charts. His numbers are improving slightly. The new treatment protocol seems to be helping. Good. Make sure he gets whatever he needs. Spare no expense. Of course, sir. She hesitates. Should I let Miss Thomas know you were here? I shake my head. No need, just take good care of him. As I turn to leave, I look back at Cornelius. Despite everything that's happened with Nyla, I can't help but hope this man pulls through. Not for the sake of Neuromax's success, but because I've seen how much Nyla loves him. Hang in there, Mr. Rex, I whisper. She needs you more than ever.
Chapter 1. 115. Nyla. I step into the Gotham suite at the Four Seasons, my breath catching at the stunning panorama before me. Floor-to-ceiling windows frame the glittering Manhattan skyline like a living painting. The space feels surreal, all sleek lines and understated luxury. Kevin trails behind me, reading an email from his phone. As of 5:36 p.m. EST, Nyla Thomas has a credit limit of $20 million. The words wrap around me like a warm blanket. I trail off, running my fingers along the smooth marble countertop of the wet bar. This is your new reality, Kevin says, coming up behind me. His hands rest on my shoulders, warm and steady. Better get used to it. I laugh, still not quite believing it. Get used to having a suite bigger than my old apartment, among other things. He guides me toward the balcony doors. Come here. You need to see this view properly. The evening air hits my face as we step outside. Below us, the city pulses with energy. Headlights streaming like rivers of light, buildings glowing against the darkening sky. I lean against the railing, drinking it all in. $20 million. I whisper, testing how the words feel on my tongue. Kevin wraps his arms around my waist from behind. You deserve this, Nyla. All of it. His lips brush my ear. Even this ridiculous suite? Especially this ridiculous suite. He chuckles. Though I have to admit, watching your face when you walked in was worth every penny. I turn in his arms, meeting his gaze. Thank you. Not just for this, but for everything. I wouldn't be here without you. You did all the hard work, he says, tucking a strand of hair behind my ear. I just helped you get what was rightfully yours. The city sparkles behind him like 1,000 stars, and for the first time in forever, I feel truly powerful, free, like I can finally breathe. This doesn't feel real, I say like a queen in my castle. Kevin moves to the champagne bucket, extracting a bottle of vintage Dom Perignon. Oh, it's very real, and this calls for a proper celebration. The cork pops with a satisfying thunk, and the bubbly liquid cascades into crystal flutes. To new beginnings, I say, raising my champagne glass. Kevin clinks his glass against mine. To your new reality. I keep thinking I'm going to wake up, I admit, turning back to Kevin. That this is all some elaborate dream. Trust me, he says, refilling our glasses. This is just the beginning. The world is yours for the taking now, Nyla. What's first on the agenda? I smile, feeling lighter than I have in years. First, I think it's time to show this city what Nyla Thomas can really do. Kevin steps closer, his eyes locked onto mine. The energy between us crackles, intense and unyielding. I know what Nyla Thomas can really do, he murmurs, his voice a low growl that sends a shiver down my spine. Oh, you think so? I tease, my breath hitching as he moves in, his hand sliding around my waist. I don't think, I know, he says, his lips brushing against mine. The kiss is electric, a surge of heat that courses through my veins. His hands roam, exploring every curve as if it were a sacred ground. We're still visible, you know, I whisper against his lips, a wicked smile playing on mine. Let them watch, he growls, his hands deftly unbuttoning my blouse. They can see what they'll never have. The cool night air kisses my skin as the fabric falls away. But I don't care. The champagne bubbles through my veins, mixing with the heady rush of power and desire. I tug at his shirt, eager to feel his skin against mine. You're insatiable, he chuckles, his lips trailing down my neck. And you love it, I retort, my fingers fumbling with his belt. He pushes me gently down onto one of the lounge chairs, the plush cushions embracing me. The city lights dance around us, a symphony of colors that paint the night sky. Kevin grabs the champagne bottle, a mischievous glint in his eyes. What are you doing? I ask, my voice a mix of curiosity and excitement. Making this memorable, he says, tipping the bottle. The cold liquid spills over my body, sending a jolt of sensation through me. I gasp, the chill of the champagne contrasting with the heat of his gaze. That's cold, I hiss, but the sensation is intoxicating. Let me warm you up, he murmurs, his tongue tracing the path of the champagne. He licks every drop, his mouth hot against my skin. The contrast of cold and warmth sends shivers of pleasure coursing through me. God, that feels good, I moan. My head falling back as he trails kisses down to my bosom, now slick and glistening. The cool breeze plays with them, heightening the sensation as Kevin's mouth works its magic. I push Kevin down onto the lounge chair, a surge of power coursing through my veins. His eyes widen in surprise, but he doesn't resist. I straddle him, feeling the city lights at my back, The world sprawled out before me. I am a queen surveying her kingdom. Whoa, Nyla, he chuckles, his hands resting on my hips. You're full of surprises tonight. You have no idea, I say, leaning down to kiss him. It's not gentle or sweet. It's fierce, hungry. I take what I want, and right now, I want him. Looks like the level of passion in this chapter is pushing YouTube's limit.
It's disappointing, I know. Trust me when I say we want nothing more than to get down to the dirty details.
But releasing these free audiobooks on YouTube means that we have to abide by the rules.
Even though YouTube won't allow us to put something so spicy on the air, you can still find it on TylaWalker.com.
Miss Tyla has an unbelievable collection of uncut, unabridged audiobooks and ebooks.
For access to the full, unfiltered scene, go to TylaWalker.com and use code SAVE40 for 40% off any digital product.
This is the deal of a lifetime, a discount that can be applied to bundles that are already listed at a discounted price.
You heard that right. It's time for you to treat yourself.
With Miss Tyla.
Chapter 1, 116. Jacob. I grunt through another set of bench presses, sweat dripping onto the padded leather. The gym's familiar rhythm of clanking weights and thumping music helps clear my head. Between Nyla's power play and Trixa's neediness, I need this escape. My phone buzzes on the bench beside me. Unknown number. Stone, I answer, wiping my face with a towel. Wall Street Heliport, 1 hour. The voice is clipped, professional. Who is this? The line goes dead. I stare at my phone, debating whether to ignore the cryptic summons. I feel the poison lying in wait in my veins. I know what I have to do. After a quick shower, I head home where Trixa's waiting. You're leaving again? She looks up from her laptop, disappointment etched on her face. We barely see each other anymore. Business meeting downtown, I say, adjusting my tie. Won't take long. That's what you always say. Her voice carries an edge of frustration. I kiss her forehead, inhaling the familiar scent of her shampoo. I'll make it up to you, I promise. The drive downtown gives me time to plan for what I'm walking into. The only problem is, I have no idea what to expect. The heliport comes into view, its landing pad silent in the afternoon sun. A man approaches as I step out of my car. His suit probably costs more than most people's monthly salary, and his shoes gleam like mirrors. Mr. Stone, he says, extending his hand. I'm Alexander Popov. Thank you for coming on such short notice. His grip is firm, calculated. Everything about him screams power and danger wrapped in expensive Italian wool. Care to tell me what this is about? I ask, matching his steady gaze. Alexander smiles, but it doesn't reach his eyes. Let's take a walk, shall we? I study Alexander as he walks beside me along the heliport's perimeter. His movements are precise, controlled, like a dancer who knows every step of a deadly waltz. I'll be direct, Mr. Stone, he says, adjusting his platinum cufflinks. The organization you've been working for. They've sent me to ensure your full cooperation. I'll be your point of contact. I stop walking, my jaw clenching. I don't work for anyone. Alexander's laugh is soft, almost musical. That's not entirely accurate, is it? Not with that little insurance policy running through your veins. My stomach churns at the reminder. How far are you planning to push this? Push? He raises an eyebrow. I prefer to think of it as guidance. We have plans for Stone Hospital Group. Big plans. Your cooperation ensures everything runs smoothly. And if I refuse? Alexander's expression softens with what looks like genuine sympathy. Personally, I find these methods distasteful. But my superiors... He shrugs, the gesture elegant yet menacing. They're less concerned with niceties. So I'm just supposed to jump when you call? I growl, fighting to keep my voice steady. Think of me as your new business advisor, he says, pulling out a sleek phone. We'll be in frequent contact. I'll ensure you know exactly what's required. The implications hit me like a physical blow. I'm trapped, and we both know it. My family built this hospital from nothing. I say it through gritted teeth. It's my legacy. Alexander nods almost sympathetically. And it will continue to be, just with some additional oversight. The afternoon sun beats down on us, but I feel cold inside. I've faced hostile takeovers before, but nothing like this. This isn't business, it's imprisonment with a designer suit facade. I watch Alexander measuring my response carefully. Years of corporate chess have taught me when to strike and when to study my opponent. This is definitely a time for the latter. All right, I say, keeping my voice neutral. What's our first move? Alexander's eyebrows lift slightly. He wasn't expecting such quick compliance. There's a sweatshop operation in Herald Square. It needs to be shut down. A sweatshop? I frown. That's not exactly hospital business. You're looking for a building to house your new Neuromax production facility, no? What does that have to do with the sweatshop? I ask, not seeing the connection. Alexander turns to me like it's obvious. My men clear out the space. You move in for a reduced rate. We operate the businesses side by side and increase profits. He smiles, his perfect teeth blinding. It's how you say, a mutually beneficial arrangement. It's also a mutual assured destruction. We'll be officially linked. I try my best to keep my head high as the realization hits me. You are a smart man, he smirks, pulling out his phone. I'm sending you the details now. Make it happen within the week. My phone buzzes with the incoming message. And how exactly am I supposed to explain this to my board? You're a creative man, Mr. Stone. Alexander straightens his already perfect tie. I'm sure you'll think of something. Consider it a test run of our new arrangement. I nod, my mind already cataloging every detail about him. His accent, traces of Boston, his watch, Patek Philippe, his mannerisms, military training maybe. Each piece could be valuable later. One more thing, he adds. Keep this between us. No police, no private investigators. We'll know if you try anything unwise. Crystal clear, I reply, forcing a smile. As Alexander walks away, I make a mental note of his gait, the way he favors his left leg slightly. Every weakness, every detail could matter. I might be trapped for now, but I didn't build an empire by giving up easily. I pull out my phone and create a new encrypted note. Time to start documenting everything about our mysterious new partners.
I thought I was getting a fake marriage, but I didn't know my story was being told by Miss Tyla.
This isn't just any fake marriage, now is it?
No, you introduced me to the devil.
Come on, girl, Jacob isn't that bad.
Oh, I love Jacob. His family, on the other hand?
Beggars can't be choosers, Nyla. You should be grateful I even let Jacob Stone look your way.
I just wanted to save my granddaddy. Is that so bad? Why couldn't you let this be a normal fake marriage? Instead, you put me in a twisty story filled with money, betrayal, power, and lies.
Let's not forget love.
That's what keeps me going. But not gonna lie, Miss Tyla. This story you got me in ain't the simple fake marriage, happy ending I thought it would be.
It's not. Because where would be the fun in that?
Treat yourself to Say Less I Love You. Tuesdays and Thursdays. New seasons premiere every month. Or skip the wait and grab the full series bundle from TylaWalker.com. Treat yourself with Miss Tyla. Chapter 1, 117. Nyla. I pull up outside Lori's apartment in my new Range Rover autobiography, complete with a uniformed driver. The leather seats still have that intoxicating new car smell, mixing with the Veuve Clicquot chilling in the custom champagne holder. Ladies, I call out as Lori and Zara emerge from the building. Your chariot awaits. Their jaws drop as they take in the gleaming black SUV. Holy hell, Nyla! Lori exclaims, running her hand along the pristine paint. This is yours? All mine, I say with a grin as the driver opens the door, along with Maurice here, who's taking us shopping. Shopping? Zara's eyes light up as she slides into the plush interior. Like actual shopping or window shopping? I pop open the champagne, the cork making a satisfying pop. The kind where you don't look at price tags. Girl, you're kidding. Lori squeals as I pour 3 flutes of bubbly. Not even a little bit. I hand them each a glass. Consider this a thank you for sticking by me through everything. Today we shop like the other half lives. To Nyla? Zara raises her glass. From scrubs to riches. And to us, I add. Because what's the point of having money if you can't spoil your best friends? Morris, I call to the front. 5th Avenue, please. We've got some damage to do. As we cruise through the city, sipping champagne and giggling like teenagers, I catch glimpses of my old life in the rearview mirror. The hospital where I used to work doubles shifts, the diner where I waited tables. They all seem like distant memories now. First stop, I announce as we near our destination, Bergdorf's. I think it's time we all had a proper wardrobe upgrade. As we hit Bergdorf's, the salespeople practically trip over themselves as I flash my new black card. Try this on, I tell Lori, handing her a crystal-encrusted clutch that costs more than her monthly rent. It's totally you. Nyla, I can't, she protests weakly, but I can see how she cradles the bag. You can and you will. Consider it back pay for all the times you covered my shifts. At Gucci, Zara gasps over a pair of leather boots. These are insane. But $5 grand? If you love them, they're yours. I wave my card at the eager salesperson. Both colors. Both. Zara's jaw drops. Girl, you're crazy. Crazy rich. I correct her with a laugh. Now come on. We still have Chanel and Cartier to hit. Bags pile up in the SUV as we bounce from store to store. Lori and Zara's initial hesitation melts away with each swipe of my card. Their eyes sparkle brighter than the diamonds we're trying on. I still can't believe this, Lori says, admiring her new Rolex. It's like a dream. Better believe it, I reply. This is just the beginning. I stroll through Hermes, trailing my fingers along a rack of designer dresses. The silk feels like water against my skin. A $100,000 Birkin catches my eye. Red crocodile, gold hardware. Perfect. I'll take this one, I tell the saleswoman, not even bothering to try it on. Zara shoots me a look. I thought you already had a Birkin. I smile as I hand the saleswoman my card. I do, but I don't have this Birkin. Lori grabs my arm. Nyla, wait. That's more than I make in a year. So, I shrug, handing over my card. I can afford it now. Can you, though? Zara asks, her brow furrowed. Like, really? I roll my eyes. The money's there. Why shouldn't I enjoy it? Girl, this is too much, Lori says, setting down the scarf she was admiring. You gotta be smart with all this money now. Smart is boring, I reply, signing the receipt with a flourish. I've been smart my whole life. Look where that got me. Zara steps in front of me, blocking my path to another display. Pace yourself, Nay. We don't want to see you crash and burn. You sound like Jacob, I snap. then immediately regret it when hurt flashes across her face. "We're your friends," Lori says quietly. "We're just worried about you." I clutch my new Birkin closer, suddenly defensive. "Well, don't be. I know what I'm doing." The concern in their eyes makes my stomach twist. They don't understand. How could they? They've never had this kind of power, this freedom. "Let's just go to lunch," I say, forcing brightness into my voice. "My treat, obviously." They exchange another worried look that I pretend not to see. "Come on, guys, lighten up." I laugh, adjusting my new Gucci sunglasses. "I'm just celebrating. Don't I deserve that after everything?" Lori checks her watch, sighing. "My shift starts in an hour. Some of us still have to work, you know." "So quit," I say, only half joking. "I could hook you up with something better." "Not all of us can fall into millions overnight," Zara replies, her tone sharper than usual. "Besides, I like my job." I wave my hand dismissively. "Your loss? At least let me call my driver to take you." "The subway's fine," Lori says, pulling me into a tight hug. "Just be careful, okay? Money changes people." "I'm still me," I protest, but the words sound hollow even to my ears. "Just with better accessories." Zara joins the hug, her perfume mixing with the leather smell of her new boots. "We love you, girl. That's why we worry." "There's nothing to worry about," I insist, pulling back to look at them both. "I've got this all under control." "Sure you do," Zara says pointedly, adjusting her scrubs bag on her shoulder. "Just remember who your real friends are, all right?" I force a bright smile, trying to ignore the knot forming in my stomach. "You guys are being so dramatic. Go on, get to work. I've got some more shopping to do anyway." They exchange one last concerned look before heading toward the subway station. I watch them go, their new shopping bags swinging at their sides, and try to shake off the weight of their worry. I'm fine. Better than fine. I'm finally getting everything I deserve. And if they can't handle that, well, that's their problem, not mine.
Chapter 1, 118, Trixa. I sip my wine, watching the Stone family drama unfold around the dinner table. The tension in the air is thick enough to cut with one of the sterling silver knives laid out before us. "That girl is nothing but trouble," Hilda declares, stabbing her fork into her roasted duck with unnecessary force. "We should have never let her get involved with our business." "Mother," Jacob says, his voice carrying that tone of exasperation I know so well. "You're not seeing the bigger picture here." I lean forward slightly, curious. Jacob's been different lately, more focused, more intense. The way he talks about Nyla sets my teeth on edge, but I keep my expression neutral. "The bigger picture?" Hilda scoffs. "Please enlighten us, dear." Jacob sets down his cutlery, meeting his mother's gaze. Before Nyla came forward with the Neuromax formula, we were weeks away from a complete financial meltdown. The trials were failing, investors were pulling out, and our stock was in free fall. "That's ridiculous," William interjects, but I notice the slight tremor in his hand as he reaches for his wine glass. "Is it, Dad?" Jacob challenges. "The numbers don't lie. Without that formula, Stone Hospital Group would be facing bankruptcy right now." I watch Hilda's face turn an interesting shade of red. "So we should be grateful?" "To her?" "Actually, yes," Jacob says firmly. "Whether you like it or not, Nyla saved this company." The words hit me like a physical blow. I take another sip of wine to hide my reaction, but inside I'm seething. Nyla Thomas, the savior of Stone Hospital Group? The thought makes me want to throw my Bordeaux across the room. I watch William's face darken as he sets down his wine glass with deliberate precision. "Saved us?" That's quite an overstatement, Jacob. The Stones have weathered far worse storms than this. We would have found another solution, Hilda adds, her voice dripping with disdain. We always do. Remember the 2008 crisis? The tech bubble? We survived those just fine. Different times, different challenges, Jacob counters, running a hand through his hair in frustration. The pharmaceutical industry isn't what it was 20 years ago. I lean forward, unable to stay silent any longer. Jacob, darling, your father's right. The Stone name alone carries enough weight to attract new investors. We could have pivoted to another drug. Exactly, William nods approvingly. There are always options for people like us. People like us? Jacob lets out a bitter laugh. That's exactly the kind of thinking that nearly drove us into the ground. We were so convinced of our own invincibility that we couldn't see the writing on the wall. Hilda's fingers tighten around her fork. Don't be dramatic, dear. The Stones have been in this business for generations. One setback wouldn't have... It wasn't just one setback, Jacob interrupts. The trials were failing consistently. Our reputation was taking hit after hit. Without a working formula, we would have lost everything. We have connections, I remind him softly. Favors we could have called in. Connections don't mean anything if the drug doesn't work, Jacob snaps, making me flinch. Face it, we needed that formula. We needed Nyla. The way he says her name makes my stomach turn. I take another sip of wine, wishing it were something stronger. I grip my wine glass tighter, the stem threatening to snap between my fingers. The conversation keeps circling back to her like a moth to a flame. Nyla this, Nyla that. Even now, when she's not here, she dominates every discussion. The point is, Jacob continues, we're stable now. The formula works. The trials are showing promising results. Thanks to her, Hilda says, the words bitter on her tongue. I feel lightheaded, the room spinning slightly. Jacob's been distant lately, always working late, always distracted. I should be happy. I'm getting everything I wanted. The ring on my finger catches the light, but somehow it feels heavier than before. Perhaps we should discuss the wedding plans, I suggest, desperate to change the subject. But Jacob's already shaking his head. We need to focus on the rollout first. Nyla's grandfather is waiting. Must we talk about that woman all night? I shout, standing up so abruptly my chair scrapes against the floor. The room tilts sideways. Black spots dance in my vision. The last thing I see is Jacob's startled face as the floor rushes up to meet me. I come to with Jacob's arms around me, his worried face swimming into focus. The dining room lights are too bright, making my head throb. I'm fine, I insist, waving off their hovering concern. I just can't stand hearing that name over and over. Here, drink this, Hilda says, pressing a glass of water into my hands. Her fingers are cool against mine, steadying my trembling grip. Jacob helps me back into my chair, his touch gentle but distant. Maybe we should call Dr. Richards. Don't be ridiculous, I say, taking a careful sip of water. It's just the wine and everything. My cheeks burn with embarrassment. Perfect Trixa swan, face planting at the dinner table like some lightweight socialite. William clears his throat. Perhaps we should adjourn for the evening. No, I protest, straightening my spine. We haven't even had dessert. I refuse to let a little dizzy spell ruin our dinner. Trixa, Jacob starts, that infuriating concern still etched on his face. I said I'm fine, I snap, then immediately regret my tone. I force a smile. Really? Let's just talk about something else. Anything else. Hilda nods approvingly. The new Bergdorf window displays are quite stunning this season. I latch onto the lifeline she's thrown me, grateful for the change in subject. Yes, I saw them yesterday. The autumn collection is divine. But even as we move on to safer topics, I can't shake the feeling that something's wrong. Not just with me, but with everything. The room still spins slightly at the edges, and Jacob's hand on my shoulder feels like it belongs to a stranger.
Chapter 1. 119. Jacob. I lean closer to Trixa as she sits quietly, the color slowly returning to her cheeks. The dining room's chandelier casts soft shadows across her face, making her look more fragile than usual. You need to see a doctor first thing tomorrow, I say, keeping my voice low while my parents continue their heated discussion about hospital politics. No arguments. Trixa nods, pressing her hand against her forehead. I'm sure it's nothing. Probably just tired from all the wedding planning. Still, I insist, I want to be certain. I'll have my personal physician see you. A small smile plays at her lips. You know what else could cause fainting spells? Her eyes sparkle with suggestion. Morning sickness. My stomach drops, but I force my expression to remain neutral. You think... Well, we haven't exactly been careful lately, she says, her voice tinged with hope. Wouldn't that be wonderful? A little stone air? I take a sip of water, buying time to compose myself. The thought of a baby right now, with everything else going on. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Doctor first, speculation later. But I can see the excitement building in her eyes, the way she's already planning our future. Meanwhile, my mind races with panic. A child would complicate everything. The crime syndicate breathing down my neck, the hospital's precarious situation, and these lingering feelings for Nyla that I can't seem to shake. Trixa's face falls slightly as she studies my reaction. You don't seem thrilled by the possibility. I'm just concerned about your health, I deflect, but we both know it's more than that. The silence between us grows heavy with unspoken words. Let's get you home, I say to Trixa, helping her to her feet. Her hand feels cold in mine, and I notice a slight tremor. You need rest. Trixa nods, squeezing my fingers. I'll just grab my purse from the study. As she disappears down the hallway, Mother slides into the empty chair beside me, her eyes sharp with concern. Jacob, darling, about what you said earlier, about Neuromax. Yes? I take a sip of water, bracing myself for the conversation. How bad was it really? She leans closer, lowering her voice. Were we truly facing insolvency? I set down my glass, meeting her gaze. Remember when I told the board we were on the brink? That wasn't hyperbole, Mother. We were weeks away from complete financial collapse. The color drains from her face. But I thought you were being dramatic, trying to make a point. No? I shake my head, running a hand through my hair. The trials were failing. Investors were pulling out. Without Nyla's formulation, Stone Hospital Group would have gone under. Mother's fingers clutch the edge of the table. So when we agreed to give her a percentage, it was a bargain, I finish. Compared to total ruin, we got off easy. The truth is, we owe Nyla. She saved us, whether you want to admit it or not. Mother sits back, processing this revelation. For once, she seems at a loss for words. The woman you made scrub floors with a toothbrush, I add quietly. She now owns part of our future. Ironic, isn't it? Mother's lips press into a thin line, her fingers drumming against the mahogany table. To think we were saved by that nurse. She spits the word like it's poison. She's more than that now, I remind her, keeping my voice even. She's a major shareholder. Don't remind me. Mother leans forward, her eyes sharp as cut glass. Jacob, you better not let anything else slip through your fingers. I'm starting to wonder if you're truly capable of handling this responsibility. I straighten in my chair, bristling at her implication. I've got everything under control. Do you? She arches an eyebrow. Because lately you seem distracted, unfocused. The Jacob I raised would never have let things get this dire in the first place. Things are different now, I protest, but the words sound hollow even to my ears. They certainly are, and they'll keep changing unless you get your head on straight. She takes a sip of wine, studying me over the rim of her glass. The hospital needs a leader, not a daydreamer. Trixa returns, her heels clicking against the hardwood floor. She looks pale but composed, clutching her purse like a lifeline. Ready to go? I stand, grateful for the interruption. Yes, let's head out. As we leave, Mother's words echo in my head like a persistent drumbeat, distracted, unfocused. Maybe she's right. Between the crime syndicate, Trixa's health, and my complicated feelings for Nyla, my mind hasn't exactly been on the hospital lately. Trixa slips her arm through mine as we walk to the car. As we step into the cool night air, Trixa's fingers intertwine with mine. Her hand feels delicate, almost fragile. Are you feeling okay? She asks, her voice soft with concern. You seem off. Maybe we're both coming down with something? I shake my head, guiding her toward the waiting car. The only thing I'm coming down with is my mother's constant criticism. You heard her in there. She means well, Trixa says, though her tone suggests she's not entirely convinced. She just wants what's best for the hospital. For you. What's best for me would be 5 minutes of peace without someone telling me how I'm failing at everything. Trixa stops, tugging my hand until I face her. The streetlight catches the diamonds in her engagement ring, sending sparkles dancing across her face. Hey, we've got a lot going on right now. The hospital, the wedding plans, everything with Nyla. I wince at the mention of Nyla's name, but Trixa continues. Maybe we should get away for a bit, she suggests, her eyes bright with hope. Just us, somewhere quiet, before all the wedding craziness really kicks in. We could go to the Hamptons or maybe that little place in Vermont you mentioned. The thought of leaving now, with Alexander's threats hanging over my head and the hospital in flux, makes my stomach churn. But Trixa's looking at me with such expectation that I can't bring myself to refuse outright. Sure, I say, the words tasting like ash in my mouth. That sounds nice. Really? Her face lights up. I'll start looking at dates tomorrow. I nod half-heartedly, already knowing I'll find some excuse to postpone. But watching Trixa's excited chatter about potential destinations, I can't bring myself to burst her bubble. Not tonight. Not when she's already feeling unwell. You think you can catch me? You think you can tame me?
Oh, I know I can. And you know it too, baby.
I gotta tell you, you're not the first to try.
But don't worry, baby. I'll be the last.
With sass like that, maybe I'll be the one that needs to tame you.
Let's cut to the chase, big boy. What you selling me?
Your appetite is big AF. I have just the thing that'll satisfy you.
Oh, really? And what's that?
Over 120 hours of romance audiobooks. Brought to you by Tyla Walker Romances in the Big AF audio bundle.
120 hours? That sounds amazing.
Your knees won't work afterwards if I do my job right.
Don't make promises you can't keep.
Well, I can keep this promise. Because these audiobooks are unabridged with all the spicy scenes that will make you put your earbuds on. You know, Tyla can get freaky because she marked the bundle down by 69% for a limited time.
I can't wait to take this bundle for a ride.
Visit TylaWalker.com and get this audio bundle. Just don't start listening if you're going to be cooking dinner. Because you might just forget to feed your family.
TylaWalker.com. Escape your life with Tyla. Chapter 1, 120. Nyla. I walk into my parents' modest home in Brooklyn, my heart racing with excitement. The familiar scent of Mom's cooking fills the air, mixing with Dad's favorite incense. My parents smile the moment they see me. Well, don't you look nice, baby girl? Mom says, looking me over as she hugs me. Thanks, I say as I nervously straighten the hem of my designer dress. I've never worn anything so nice in front of them. It smells so good in here. My father passes me a set of silverware and a glass of water. I hope you're hungry. She made your favorite. I am, I say, settling into my usual chair as she puts a big plate of chicken curry in front of me. As Mom watches me dig into my meal, she leans forward with curiosity. So tell us about Marcus's formula. Is it going to help Cornelius? It's pretty incredible. The doctors are very optimistic. Dad leans forward, his eyes bright. That's wonderful news, sweetheart. We've been so worried about him. Actually, I say, pulling out my phone to show them some listings, there's more. I got such a good deal on the sale that I want to buy you a new house. Anywhere you want. No more rent, no more worrying about bills. Mom's eyes widen as she scrolls through the pictures. These are beautiful homes, Nyla. Look at this one in Park Slope, Dad says, pointing at the screen. His excitement is palpable, but then he pauses. Wait a minute. Who exactly did you sell the formula to? I swallow hard, knowing this is the moment I've been dreading. The Stone Hospital Group. The temperature in the room seems to drop 10 degrees. Mom's face falls, and Dad pushes away from the table. The Stones? He asks, his voice tight with anger. After everything they've done? They were the logical buyers, I try to explain. They already had the infrastructure, the trials. We don't want their money, Mom cuts me off, her voice firm. Not a penny of it. But this is different, I protest. This is my money now. I earned it. Dad shakes his head. No, baby girl. That money is tainted. We can't accept it. But why? I ask, frustration building in my chest. Why won't you let me help you? Some things are more important than money, Mom says softly. I lean forward, my hands gripping the edge of the worn kitchen table. You don't understand. This money comes from Marcus's work, his formula, his research. The Stones just happen to be the buyers. Baby girl, Dad says, his voice gentle but firm. The Stones have been poisoning everything they touch for generations. You think they're going to treat you any different. But I'm not asking them to treat me differently, I counter. I'm the one with the power now. I made the deal on my terms. Mom reaches across the table, her fingers brushing mine. Nyla, we know you want to help us, and we're so proud of how far you've come. But accepting anything from the Stones, even if it's through me? I ask, my voice cracking slightly. Especially through you, Dad says. We're glad Marcus and Kira brought you into our lives. You're our daughter, and nothing will ever change that. But the Stones? He shakes his head. There's too much history there. What history? I press. You keep saying that, but you never explain. Mom and Dad exchange a look I can't quite read. Some things are better left in the past, Mom says finally. Just know that we're warning you because we love you. Don't trust them, Nyla. No matter how sweet the deal seems. They'll smile to your face, Dad adds, right up until they stick the knife in your back. Maybe that was your experience with Hilda and William, I say, leaning forward across the kitchen table. But Jacob is different. Mom's eyes soften with sympathy. Baby, have you forgotten how quickly he turned on you? How he fired you and left you scrambling to survive? That was before. Before what? Dad cuts in, his voice sharp. Before he realized you had something he wanted? That's not change, Nyla. That's opportunism. I rise from my chair, squaring my shoulders. Look, I get that you're worried, but I didn't just take their money. I earned it. I outplayed them at their own game. And that makes it okay? Mom asks, her brow furrowed with concern. Yes, it does. I paced the kitchen, my heels clicking against the linoleum. They thought they could break me, humiliate me. Hilda made me clean toilets with a toothbrush, for God's sake. But guess what? I won. Dad shakes his head. Baby girl? No, listen. I turn to face them both. You taught me to stand up for myself, right? To fight back when people try to push me down. Well, that's exactly what I did. I didn't just survive, I thrived. There's a difference between standing up for yourself and becoming like them, Mom says softly. I laugh, the sound sharp in the small kitchen. Like them? I'm nothing like them. I'm better. They had everything handed to them on a silver platter. I had to fight for every inch. And now? Dad asks. Now? I smile, feeling the power of my new position coursing through me. Now I get to live the life I deserve, and they get to watch. They have to see me succeed using their own money. That's not just revenge, that's justice. Mom starts to speak, but I hold up my hand. I love you both, but I'm done apologizing for my success. The Stones made their bed, and now they have to lie in it. And me? I grab my designer purse from the counter. I'm going to sleep like a baby in my penthouse apartment. Nyla, Mom reaches for my hand, but I pull away. No, I get it. You don't want my help? You won't get it. But don't come asking when the roof starts leaking again. I storm toward the door, my heels clicking against the linoleum. Behind me, I hear Dad's heavy sigh, and Mom's soft, let her go.
Chapter 1, 121, Trixa. I sit in the sterile examination room. The paper covering the examination table crinkles beneath me, an irritating sound that matches my frayed nerves. Ms. Swan? Dr. Weiss enters, her white coat pristine, clipboard in hand. How are you feeling today? Better, I say, smoothing my Chanel skirt. The fainting spell was probably just stress. You know how it is, planning a wedding and all. She nods, but her expression remains serious. We ran some preliminary tests after your blood work showed some concerning markers. My heart skips. Concerning? Like pregnancy concerning? The thought sends a mix of emotions through me. A baby would certainly secure my future with Jacob. Dr. Weiss shakes her head. No, you're not pregnant, Ms. Swan. But we found abnormalities in your blood count that warrant further investigation. What kind of abnormalities? The room suddenly feels colder. She sits on her rolling stool, wheeling closer. Your white blood cell count is significantly elevated, and we're seeing some immature cells that shouldn't be there. These findings are consistent with leukemia. Leukemia? I repeat the word, my voice barely a whisper. As in cancer? Yes. We'll need to run more tests to confirm the diagnosis and determine the specific type, but based on these initial results, it appears you have blood cancer. My manicured nails dig into my palms. There must be some mistake. I'm getting married. I have plans. I understand this is shocking news, Doctor, Weiss says gently, but the sooner we begin testing and treatment— No, I cut her off, standing up. My legs feel like jelly. I need to think. Ms. Swan, please sit down. We should discuss next steps. But I can't breathe in here anymore. The walls are closing in, and all I can think about is how this will affect everything. My wedding, my future with Jacob, my life. I sit numbly as Dr. Weiss outlines the next steps, her voice fading in and out like a badly tuned radio. More blood work, bone marrow biopsy, PET scans. The medical terminology washes over me in waves. I'd like to refer you to Dr. Silverman at Memorial Sloan Kettering, she says. He's the top blood cancer specialist in New York. I snap back to attention. Not Stone Hospital Group? Well, they do have an excellent oncology department. No, I cut her off sharply. I want treatment anywhere but there. I won't have Jacob knowing about this. Not yet. Dr. Weiss's brow furrows. Ms. Swan, you'll need a strong support system. I said no. My voice cracks slightly. Please, I need to process this first. Figure out what I'm dealing with before I tell the man I love that I might be dying, before I watch pity replace the love in his eyes. Of course, she says softly. Patient confidentiality means we won't share your information with anyone without your explicit consent. But I strongly recommend. Memorial Sloan Kettering is fine, I interrupt again. When can I see Dr. Silverman? She types something into her computer. I can have my office coordinate with his team today. They'll likely want to see you within the week, given your preliminary results. I nod, clutching my Hermes bag like a lifeline. Thank you. And Dr. Weiss? Not a word to anyone at Stone Hospital. I mean it. You have my word, she assures me. But Trixa? Don't wait too long to tell them. The people who love you will want to help. Love. Such a simple word for such a complicated thing. I force a smile and stand up, my designer outfit suddenly feeling like armor against a world that's spinning out of control. The ride home from the hospital passes in a blur. I stumble into my Park Avenue apartment. Everything looks the same. The pristine white furniture, the abstract art pieces worth more than most people's annual salary, the view of Central Park that I fought so hard to get. But it all feels different now, like I'm seeing it through someone else's eyes. My hands shake as I pour myself a glass of Chateau Lafite. The bottle slips, red liquid splashing onto my cream-colored counter. Yesterday, I would have thrown a fit about the stain. Today, I just watch it spread. Ms. Swan? Maria, my housekeeper, appears in the doorway. Are you all right? You look pale. I'm fine, I snap, harsher than intended. The lie tastes bitter on my tongue. Just clean this up. I retreat to my bedroom, past the rack of designer wedding dresses I've been considering. Each one costs more than a small car. Each one might never be worn. The engagement ring on my finger catches the light, sending prismatic reflections dancing across my walls. Jacob picked it himself. 5 carats, emerald cut, absolutely flawless. Just like everything in my life was supposed to be. Cancer, I whisper to my empty room. The word feels wrong in my mouth, like something that happens to other people. Poor people, unlucky people, not Trixa Swan, who's never wanted for anything in her life. Until now. I stare at my reflection in the floor-to-ceiling mirrors of my Park Avenue penthouse. The silk Valentino dress hugs my curves perfectly, not a hair out of place, not a sign that anything's wrong. Because nothing is wrong. Nothing can be wrong. Ms. Swan, Maria, my housekeeper, calls from the doorway. Your car is here to take you to your meeting with the wedding planner. Thank you, Maria. My voice is steady, controlled, perfect. Cancel my spa appointment for tomorrow. I have other plans. I grab my phone, scrolling through dozens of wedding vendor emails. The flowers need to be white peonies, not ivory. The table settings must be Bernardade, not Wedgwood. Every detail has to be flawless because I am flawless. The caterer called again about the menu tasting, Maria adds. Tell them to reschedule. I wave her away, my hand trembling slightly. I clench it into a fist. I'm too busy this week. Too busy fighting for my life, but no one needs to know that part. My phone buzzes, Jacob. Hey, beautiful, dinner tonight. I type back quickly, can't tonight wedding plans? I add a heart emoji, keeping it light, normal. Because everything is normal. You're working too hard, he replies. Take a break. If only he knew. But he can't know. No one can know. I've fought too hard, come too far to let something like cancer derail my perfect life. I grab my Birkin and stride toward the elevator. Maria, I'll be back late. Don't wait up. In the privacy of the elevator, I let my facade crack for just a moment. One tear slides down my cheek before I swipe it away. I am Trixa Swan. I eat obstacles for breakfast. This is just another challenge to overcome, another victory to claim. The elevator doors open and my mask slides back into place. Perfect, untouchable, unbreakable, because I have to be.
You won't know what hit you, baby. I'm going to take you, break you, and make you mine. When I'm done, you're...
Now hold on just a minute.
What?
I got something to say.
What's the meaning of this?
Now you may be some fine-looking white boy.
Got that right, baby. It takes hard work.
And you might got the money.
Fat stacks, baby, to spoil you with.
But that doesn't mean I'm going to give it up to you without a fight.
A fight?
You want some limp wilting flowers? Go to historical romance, baby. But you want sassy and spicy strong black queens that tame their alpha male bad boys?
I think our listeners do.
Then you go on and look at Miss Tyla's Bougie Brides and Billionaires audio bundle.
50 hours of me whispering the most romantic things in your ears. Fake marriages, alpha male billionaires, strong black women, steamy scenes that will make your eyes roll back. And everything wrapped up in a happily ever after that will put you in an afterglow.
Use code SAVE40 to get 40% off this bundle and any other digital product in Miss Tyla's store.
Unabridged and uncut.
Just like you,
You're gonna have to find out.
Tyla Walker Romances. Escape your life with sassy romance. Chapter 1, 122. Nyla. I walk up the familiar steps of my childhood home, my heart pounding with anticipation. The peeling paint and creaky floorboards feel different now that I own them. Yes, that's right. I own my parents' house. Mom! Dad! I call out, pushing open the door. Mom appears from the kitchen, wiping her hands on a dish towel. Nyla, we weren't expecting you. I have something to tell you both, I say, trying to contain my excitement. Where's Dad? Right here, Dad says, emerging from his study. What's going on? I take a deep breath, pulling out a manila envelope from my bag. Remember how you didn't want me to buy you a new house? Well, I found another solution. Mom's eyes narrow. What did you do? I bought this house instead, I say, opening the envelope and spreading the deed papers on the coffee table. It's yours now. No more landlord. No more rent. You what? Dad's voice rises an octave. Without consulting us? I had to move fast, I explain. The landlord was being difficult, but money talks. Now you can finally paint the living room, update the kitchen, whatever you want. Mom picks up the papers with trembling hands. Nyla, we told you we don't want. Stop, I say, holding up my hand as Mom launches into another lecture about the Stone family's money. Just stop. This isn't about them. Dad crosses his arms. Isn't it? That money? That money came from Marcus. I cut in, my voice firm. My biological father. The man who created something incredible and left it to me. His daughter. Mom shakes her head. You don't understand the history? No, you don't understand, I say, pacing the worn carpet. I'm watching you both struggle with rent that keeps going up. This neighborhood isn't what it used to be. Everyone's getting priced out. We manage just fine, Dad insists, but I catch the worry lines deepening around his eyes. Really? Is that why you're picking up extra shifts at the shop? I challenge. Why Mom's been selling her handmade quilts online? They exchange glances, and I press on. This isn't charity. This isn't Stone money. This is my inheritance from my father, and I'm choosing to use it to help the people I love. Nyla, Mom starts. What am I supposed to do? I ask, my voice cracking. Just sit back and watch you work yourselves to death trying to keep up with these insane rents? Watch you stress about every little repair because the landlord won't fix anything? Dad's shoulders sag slightly. We just don't want you mixed up with... I'm already mixed up in it, I say softly. But this is different. This is me, your daughter, wanting to take care of my parents the way you've always taken care of me. Dad slumps into his armchair, running a hand over his face. Baby girl, you can't just... Yes, I can, I say firmly. And I did. The house is yours. No strings attached. Mom sinks onto the couch, the deed papers trembling in her hands. Nyla, sweetheart, we're worried about you. All this money so suddenly. I can handle it, I snap. I've spent my entire life pinching pennies, working double shifts, choosing between groceries and bills. Now I finally have breathing room, And you think I can't manage it? Dad shakes his head. Remember Cousin Jerome? Won that scratch-off jackpot? This isn't the same thing. Isn't it? He raises an eyebrow. 2 years later, he was worse off than before. Money changes people, Nyla. I'm not Jerome, I say through gritted teeth. I know what I'm doing. Mom reaches for my hand, but I pull away. We just want you to be careful. Take things slowly. Don't let it go to your head. Too late for that, Dad mutters. What's that supposed to mean? Look at yourself. He gestures at my designer outfit. The Nyla we know would never spend 3 months' rent on a purse. The Nyla you know was broke, I retort. Maybe I'm tired of being careful. Maybe I want to enjoy my success. Success? Mom's voice cracks. Or revenge? The word hits me like a slap. I grab my bag, needing to escape their judgmental stares. The house is yours. Do whatever you want with it. I storm out of my parents' house, slamming the door behind me with enough force to rattle the windows. The sound echoes through the quiet Brooklyn street, matching the thunder in my chest. Ungrateful, I mutter, fumbling with my car keys. I try to do something nice, and they act like I'm some kind of... The memory of my father's disapproving stare burns in my mind. The way he looked at my outfit, my bag, like I'm some stranger who's replaced his daughter, and Mom, with her concerned eyes and gentle warnings about money-changing people. I haven't changed, I say to no one, gripping the steering wheel. I'm just not struggling anymore. What's wrong with that? My phone buzzes with a text from Mom. We love you, sweetheart. Just want what's best for you. I toss the phone onto the passenger seat without responding. The leather interior of my new car still smells fresh, but somehow the new car scent that delighted me this morning now turns my stomach. All I wanted was to help them. I tell my reflection in the rearview mirror. Give them the security they deserve. Is that so terrible? But my father's words echo in my head. Money changes people, Nyla. Yeah, well, maybe I needed to change. I snap, starting the engine. The car purrs to life, a reminder of how far I've come from taking the bus everywhere. As I pull away from my childhood home, I catch a glimpse of my mother in the window, watching me leave. Part of me wants to turn around, try to make them understand. But their disapproval stings too much right now. I hit the gas harder than necessary, leaving behind the familiar streets of my past. They don't understand. They can't see that I'm finally becoming someone who matters in this world, someone who can't be pushed around anymore.
Chapter 1, 123, Jacob. I lean against the doorframe of the conference room, watching Nyla pore over the latest Neuromax trial data. Her eyes light up as she scans the numbers, and I can't help but smile at her enthusiasm. These results are incredible, she says, looking up at me. Look at this. Cognitive function improved by 60% across the board. I move closer, peering over her shoulder at the charts. Your grandfather's numbers are particularly impressive. His neural response patterns have almost normalized. I know, she beams, tapping the paper. The nurses say he's been more alert, even cracking jokes again. Yesterday he remembered my 6th birthday party in perfect detail. The one with the disastrous clown incident? I ask, remembering the story she once told me. She laughs, the sound warming the sterile office air. That's the one. He even remembered how I hid behind the couch when the clown started making balloon animals. I sink into the chair beside her, relief washing over me. You saved us, you know. Without this formula, Stone Hospital Group would be finished. Funny how things work out, she muses, shuffling the papers into a neat stack. A month ago, I was scrubbing floors in your mother's house. Now I'm helping save lives. You were always saving lives, Nyla. First as a nurse, now with this. I gestured to the data spread before us. The method just changed. She meets my eyes, and for a moment, I see a flash of the connection we once shared. Well, I'm glad it worked out for everyone. The patients get better, you keep your company, and I... She trails off, looking away. And you get to see your grandfather healthy again, I finish for her, respecting the boundary she's trying to maintain. Yeah, she says softly. That's what matters most. I lean forward in my chair, seizing the moment of warmth between us. We should celebrate this success. Have dinner with me tonight? Nyla's eyebrows shoot up, amusement dancing in her eyes. Dinner? Like last time at Masa when you tried to charm the formula out of me? Hey, that was different, I protest, holding up my hands in mock surrender. This time we actually have something real to celebrate. No ulterior motives, I promise. She tilts her head, studying me. Just 2 colleagues celebrating a medical breakthrough. 2 friends, I correct her. Having a normal dinner, talking about normal things, like how your grandfather called his nurse Toots yesterday and made her blush. A laugh escapes her, bright and genuine. He didn't. Oh, he did. I have witnesses. I grin, encouraged by her response. Come on, what do you say? I know this great little Italian place in the village. No fancy wine lists or pretentious waiters, just good food and better company. Nyla taps her pen against the desk, considering. Well, as long as you promise not to order any $1,000 bottles of wine or try to impress me with your vast knowledge of escargot. Scout's honor, I say, placing a hand over my heart. Though I'll have you know my escargot knowledge is quite impressive. She rolls her eyes, but I catch the smile she's trying to hide. Fine. This time it's on you. Deal, I agree, standing up. Though I should warn you, their tiramisu is legendary. You might have to fight me for it. Game on, Stone, she says, her eyes sparkling with challenge as she gathers her things to leave. Game on! As Nyla leaves the room, her scent lingers in the air, a tantalizing mix of vanilla and lavender. I watch her retreating form, the way her hips sway with each step, and I can't help but remember the way she used to move beneath me. My mind floods with memories of our time together. The taste of her lips, the feel of her skin, the way her body curved into mine. I know it's wrong, but I can't help myself. I'm alone in the conference room, and the images of Nyla are too much to resist. My hand wanders to my pants, and I unbutton them, giving myself room to breathe. I close my eyes, and I can almost feel her there with me, her breath hot against my neck as her fingers trace patterns on my chest.
And that's where we're going to put a pause on pleasure.
Looks like the rest of this chapter is just too naughty to put on the air.
As much as we'd love to share every little detail, we've got to stick to YouTube's guidelines to keep these free audiobooks coming.
They've got some rules about what we can show, and we wouldn't want to risk losing the chance to bring you more content.
As frustrating as it is to build the tension only to be interrupted, Miss Tyla always knows how to make it up to you.
You can find the full, uncut scene over at TylaWalker.com.
With an entire library of unabridged audiobooks and ebooks, Miss Tyla's collection is waiting for you.
If you use code SAVE40, you'll get 40% off any digital product, even on bundles that are already discounted.
So don't let the fun stop here. Head over to TylaWalker.com and treat yourself with Miss Tyla.
I lean back in my chair, trying to catch my breath. I can't believe I just did that in the middle of the day, in the middle of the office, but I couldn't help myself. Ever since Nyla walked out of that conference room, all I can think about is her. I'm supposed to be marrying Trixa, but it's Nyla who makes me feel alive. Trixa is beautiful, sure, and she comes from a good family, but she doesn't make me feel the way Nyla does. When I'm with Nyla, I feel like I can be myself. I don't have to put on a show or pretend to be someone I'm not. I know it's wrong to feel this way. I'm engaged to be married for Christ's sake, but I can't help it. Nyla is a drug, and I'm addicted.
Chapter 1, 124. Nyla. I stand before my full-length mirror, adjusting the straps of my new Armani dress. The black fabric hugs my curves like it was made for me, which it practically was, considering the rush alterations I demanded. Another designer dress? Lori asks from her perch on my bed. Her reflection shows raised eyebrows as she takes in the array of shopping bags scattered across my room. When in Rome, I say, fastening a diamond tennis bracelet around my wrist. Besides, Jacob's taking me to Le Bernardin. I need to look the part. Wait, I thought you said you were going for Italian? Lori sits up straighter, her brow furrowing. That little place in the village you mentioned? I run my fingers over the smooth silk of my dress. Change of plans. Jacob called and upgraded our dinner plans. I thought you wanted to keep things casual with Jacob, Lori says, her voice tinged with concern. What happened to just a quiet dinner to celebrate how Cornelius is doing? I adjust my diamond earrings, admiring how they catch the light. Cornelius, of all people, would be happy I'm getting a good meal. Le Bernardin has 3 Michelin stars. Lori rolls her eyes. Right. And this has nothing to do with wanting to be seen at Le Bernardin with Jacob Stone. You do realize this sends a completely different message, right? Maybe I want to send a different message. I smooth down my dress, checking my reflection one last time. I'm not that struggling nurse anymore, Lori. I'm his equal now. His equal? Lori sits up straighter, her expression serious. Girl, you've got 20 million reasons to be confident, but don't let it change who you are. Lori picks up a receipt from my nightstand, her eyes widening. Girl, these Jimmy Choos cost more than my monthly rent. They're an investment, I counter, slipping on the shoes in question. I'm playing in the big leagues now. Are you? Lori's voice carries a note of concern. Because from where I'm sitting, it looks like you're trying awful hard to be something you're not. I pause in the middle of applying my lipstick. What's that supposed to mean? These clothes, the jewelry, that private jet receipt on your table. Lori gestures around the room. It feels like you're trying to prove something. I'm not trying to prove anything, I snap, though the words ring hollow even to my ears. But this time around, I'm not going to let anyone tell me I don't belong. You belonged just fine before all this, Lori says. In fact, you were killing it. I turn to Lori, fiddling with my new diamond bracelet. Remember that Tiffany heart necklace everyone had in 10th grade? The one Katie Martinez's mom bought for like half the cheerleading squad? Lori nods. How could I forget? You talked about it for months. I begged my dad to get it for my birthday, I say, sinking onto the bed beside her. He had this amazing baseball card collection, vintage stuff from the 60s. One night I overheard him on the phone trying to sell it. Lori's eyes widen. No way. Your dad loved those cards. He did, but he loved me more. I twist the bracelet around my wrist. Then our basement flooded, burst pipe. The landlord refused to pay for repairs, said it was our fault somehow. Dad had to use the money from his cards to fix it. That must have crushed you. Not as much as seeing him pack up those empty card albums. I swallow hard at the memory. He tried to hide how much it hurt, but I knew. That's when I realized some things matter more than jewelry. Like what? Lori prompts gently. Now I can buy my own diamonds. More importantly, I bought their house. No more fighting with landlords. No more choosing between repairs and groceries. I meet her concerned gaze. Do you know how good it feels to take that burden off their shoulders? I get it, Nye, Lori says, squeezing my hand. Just don't forget who you are while you're busy buying everything you couldn't have before. I straighten up, adjusting my posture with a newfound confidence. Trust me, Lori, I know exactly who I am. I'm the same Nyla, just with better shoes and more options. Speaking of options, Lori raises an eyebrow as I check my phone for the third time in 5 minutes. You seem pretty excited about dinner with Jacob. A smile tugs at my lips. We've been getting along really well lately. The old spark is definitely still there. Hold up. Lori sits forward, her brow furrowing. Aren't you still seeing Kevin? Sort of. I shrug, applying another coat of lipstick. It's casual. And isn't Jacob still engaged to Trixa? Technically. I cap my lipstick and turn to face her. But men do this all the time, don't they? Dating multiple people, keeping their options open. Lori crosses her arms. Since when do you want to be like men? Since I realized playing by their rules is the only way to win their game. I grab my clutch from the dresser. Besides, I'm just having fun. No one's getting hurt. That doesn't sound like the Nyla I know, Lori says softly. Maybe you don't know the new Nyla as well as you think. I check my reflection one final time. The old Nyla played by the rules, and look where that got her. Scrubbing floors for Hilda Stone. My phone buzzes with a text from Jacob. He's downstairs. Life's more fun when you make your own rules, I say, heading for the door. You should try it sometime. Just be careful, Lori calls after me. Playing with fire tends to leave scars. I pause in the doorway, tossing her a confident smile. Good thing I've got amazing health insurance now. This is it, baby. This is what you can get me that'll make me happy.
You know I'll get you whatever you want. All you need to do is ask me and I'll give it to you.
This ain't just it. This is everything I could ever want.
Now I'm curious. What does a strong, sassy woman like yourself want so badly?
Baby, you know what I want?
I can't wait to hear.
The Big Baddie Bundle from Tyla Walker. It has everything I need.
20 ebooks with over 1 million words of sassy romance and spice that'll keep you on your toes.
10 audiobooks containing over 60 hours of that seductive voice telling me naughty things all night long.
You don't need an audiobook for that, baby. It's right here.
You may be fine and all, but no one tells it like the way Miss Tyla does. And I need her in my life.
The Big Baddie Bundle is everything you need. You can get it for 80% off.
Go to TylaWalker.com to browse the bundles that earn you the best deals.
It's time you treat yourself. Because you deserve it.
Escape your life with Miss Tyla.
Chapter 1, 125. Jacob. I watched Nyla sip her wine across the candlelit table, the soft glow highlighting her features. The Bernardin's intimate atmosphere only amplifies the electricity between us. So the investors are very happy, I say, trying to keep things professional. The board is finally off my back. Nyla's eyes light up, and Cornelius is making amazing strides. His cognitive function scores are up 30%. The doctors are amazed. We make a good team. The words slip out before I can stop them. She meets my gaze, a hint of sadness flickering across her face. We did, didn't we? Did. Who knew that tiny little word could hurt so much? How's Kevin treating you? I ask, immediately trying to change the subject, but regretting bringing him up. He's fine. Supportive. She traces the rim of her wine glass. And Trixa. She's good. Everything's good. The lie tastes bitter on my tongue. Nyla raises an eyebrow. Just good? You know how it is. Wedding planning and all that. I take a long sip of wine. Right. She looks away, studying the other diners. It's funny, isn't it? How things work out. What do you mean? Just all of this. A year ago, I was just a nurse. Now I'm having dinner at Le Bernardin with you, celebrating our medical breakthrough. You were never just a nurse, Nyla. The waiter arrives with our entrees, breaking the moment. As he describes the dishes, I catch Nyla watching me with an intensity that makes my heart race. To success, I raise my glass. To success, she echoes, but her eyes say something else entirely. We both know we're dancing around what we really want to say. The words hang unspoken between us, as heavy as the crystal chandelier above our heads. As we finish dinner, I turn to Nyla, not ready to let her go yet. Would you like to grab a drink? She seems to feel the same way because it doesn't take her much time to say, I love that. I take her hand and lead her out. I know just the place. The sultry rhythms of the salsa band fill Bar Secreto as Nyla and I settle into a cozy corner booth. The dim lighting and exposed brick walls create an intimate atmosphere that makes my pulse quicken. Another Manhattan? I ask, noticing her empty glass. Trying to get me tipsy, Stone? She smirks but pushes her glass forward. I signal the waitress. Just enjoying your company. I forgot how much fun you are. Fun? She raises an eyebrow. Is that what they're calling it these days? The band transitions into a slower number, the bass thrumming through the floor. I stand, extending my hand. Dance with me? I didn't know billionaires could salsa, she teases, but takes my hand. I'm full of surprises. I lead her to the dance floor, pulling her close. The scent of her perfume clouds my senses as we move together. Her body fits perfectly against mine, just like I remember. You've been practicing, she murmurs as I guide her through a turn. Maybe I was saving my best moves for you. Her laugh sends shivers down my spine. Smooth talker. We move in perfect sync, the music guiding our steps. Her fingers trail across my shoulder, leaving fire in their wake. When our eyes meet, the rest of the room fades away. Nyla, I breathe, drawing her closer. Jacob, she whispers back, her lips inches from mine. The band plays on, but we've stopped dancing, caught in this moment of electric tension. Her hand rests on my chest, and I know she can feel my heart racing. We shouldn't, she says, but doesn't pull away. Probably not, I agree, my hand sliding to the small of her back. The world shrinks to just us, swaying gently to the music, teetering on the edge of something dangerous and irresistible. I can't help myself. I lean in and capture Nyla's lips with mine. The kiss is soft at first, tentative, but quickly deepens with the weight of everything left unsaid between us. Her fingers tangle in my hair as she pulls me closer. The salsa music fades into the background, replaced by the thundering of my heart. But then Nyla pulls back, pressing her palm against my chest to create space between us. Her eyes are bright, her lips slightly parted. Jacob, wait, she whispers, her voice husky. We can't do this. Why not? I ask, still holding her close. This feels right. She shakes her head, though her hand remains on my chest. Because you're engaged to Trixa, and I won't be the other woman. Reality crashes back in, and I know she's right. Nyla. No, listen to me, she says firmly. If we're going to do this, really do this, it needs to be different this time. No games, no lies, no complications. I rest my forehead against hers, closing my eyes. You're right. You deserve better than sneaking around. We both do, she says softly. Figure things out with Trixa first. Then if you still want this... I do want this, I interrupt. I want you. She steps back, straightening her dress. Then prove it. Do things the right way this time. I nod, already missing her warmth. I will. I promise. Good, she says with a small smile. Now I should go before I change my mind and kiss you again. Let me take you home, I say, reaching for Nyla's hand. It's late. She shakes her head, a knowing smile playing on her lips. We both know that's not a good idea, Jacob. I'd invite you up for coffee and I lean closer, drawn to her like a magnet. And we'd regret it in the morning. She places her palm against my chest, creating a gentle barrier between us. Well, maybe not regret, but it wouldn't be right, I finish for her, understanding despite my desire to pull her close again. Her phone buzzes. That's my car. Already? I can't hide the disappointment in my voice. We step outside into the cool night air. The city hums around us, but all I can focus on is how the streetlights catch the gold flecks in her eyes. This was nice, she says softly, lingering by the curb. It was perfect. I reach up, tucking a strand of hair behind her ear. Nyla, don't, she whispers, catching my hand. Not yet. Not until you've figured everything out. The car pulls up, its headlights illuminating us in a soft glow. Nyla squeezes my hand once before letting go. Good night, Jacob. Good night, I reply, watching as she slides into the back seat. The car merges into traffic, taking her away from me. I stand there, my hand still tingling from her touch, mind racing with possibilities. I know what I need to do. End things properly with Trixa. Handle it like a man. But the thought of hurting her weighs heavy on my conscience. Still, watching Nyla's car disappear around the corner, I've never been more certain of anything. This time, I'll do it right. This time, I'll be worthy of her.
Hey, fam! Looks like our girl Nyla is finally getting a backbone and standing up for herself. I know a lot of you are Team Kevin and think that Jacob doesn't deserve Nyla after everything he did. But remember, he was being blackmailed by his mother. He still loved Nyla through all that. What do you think? Does he deserve a shot? Or should Nyla look elsewhere? Drop a comment and find out next time on Say Less I Love You.